So we'll now take a look inside. The rear door is not really for personnel access. The storage area at the back here really was for 5 swing-fire missiles. 5 would be kept in the bin above, but carried a spare set of 5 in here. And here's a real missile sat there. Somebody painted it orange. It's definitely not the right colour. So on this left side would be 2 missiles stored, and then over on the right there would be 3 more missiles stuck on these little ledges. They come in hermetically sealed boxes which clip straight into the missile bin above. Pretty cramped in here. The silver box at the top there is the upper fuel tank. The vehicle has 2 fuel tanks. There's one there which is directly underneath the commander's seat, and each of these would contain, or do contain, about 40 to 45 gallons of petrol. So the commander sits on top of 45 gallons of fuel, and directly behind him is another 40 odd gallons. Okay, I guess unless you get a fuel leak or you actually got hit, then you would have a major problem. The box below the fuel tank there is the Nbc nuclear, biological, chemical filtration pack. And to the right of it is the large blower fan that feeds the air into the compartment inside. To the right of the rear compartment we have another battery box. 2 more batteries would go in here for the radio equipment, but I haven't actually got any batteries for that. Piece of radio gear there. Then this is the power supply for the missile firing simulator, which is this box here. We can see the front of that in a moment, and more about that shortly. So going slightly forwards now into the sort of personnel compartment. On the right here is the missile firer's position. He has his own sight. This is an early type, and below it, like a pair of handlebars with the firing button and the joystick for controlling the missile after it's left the vehicle. Just behind there is a lever for raising the missile bin at the back, up and down, and a device here for feeding information to the system about the angle of the vehicle. It needs to be set up exactly so that the missile can do what it has to do when it leaves the vehicle. The swing-fire missile can be fired remotely from the vehicle and then swings round, hence the name swing-fire, into the line of sight of the operator. And it really needs to know exactly what position the vehicle is in before it's fired, so that he can perform that manoeuvre and let the operator take over once he's got it in his line of sight. Right, I'm sat in the missile firer's position now. To the left here you have the actual fire button. There you go. And then to the right, flick this up, and there is a joystick which the controller uses to guide the missile to its ventral target. The swing-fire missile is wire guided. It has 4 kilometers of wire inside the missile, which is deployed as it's launched. So the operator has an actual wire connected to the missile, so that can't be jammed. Interesting concept. To the left of the missile firer is the commander's position, immediately behind the driver's seat. He has a couple of VRC 353 radios, various other bits and pieces, a set of headphones there, and behind him again the control equipment for the swing-fire missile system. The yellow device there is a plug that can be removed and is specific to the vehicle. It's like a key. Without that, the missiles can't be fired. And if you've got the wrong one, it still won't work. So it has to be specific to the vehicle. Just a bit of a safety feature. This is the selector box for deciding which missile to fire. And there's a test button there. Turn that off, we don't have no accidents. The grey box here is the boiling vessel. It's a fantastic little cooker basically. It can heat hot water, boil water, steam food. Has a little tray inside there, like a little saucepan that pulls out. I'm sure it's a useful bit of kit, but never tried one in actual fact. These pair of radios are Clansman VRC 353 radios. These two do work, but it's actually illegal to use them in the UK. Looking to the rear of the missile controller's compartment, we see the control box for the simulated guided missile firing. Lots of presets on here for wind direction, angle, all sorts of things really that can set up a dummy firing, and it would put a small trace on a cathode ray tube which the missile firer can see through his sight. He can pretend to fire a missile and he can pretend to control it, and you know, the trainer can monitor how he's doing. I think at the time the missiles were £12,000 each, so you rarely got to fire a real one. All training really was done with this device. In the commander's position here, we've got some of the gun controls here. The machine gun can be loaded from inside. That silver box there contains the belt of ammo, and can be fired completely from inside, controlled from inside. And should it jam or need recocking, this little lever here will recock the gun, and the firing mechanism, which is a solenoid on the gun, is used from this hand control here. That's to fire the gun. Turning it moves the gun up and down. So, and that movement up and down of the gun also moves the commander's sight, so you can see exactly where he's aiming, and the spotlight on the outside, or follow the position of the gun. The commander has a good view around with 8 small periscopes, each with their own wiper and washer, so never a problem there. The cupola can be rotated around by using this lever here. I won't do it, it's a bit tricky with one hand, but that's not a problem to turn it around, and then it locks it back into position. So again, behind the missile controller is the Nbc Control Panel. This controls the fan speed and various other functions for the air that comes out of the filtration system into the passenger compartment, so to speak. And it can be test the system really with some pressure, a big pressure gauge here, and some pneumatic pipes that check the pressure within the system. This can only operate when the engine is running and above a certain RPM. It takes so much current to run the fan, etc. So possibly won't be able to demonstrate that working at the moment, but it does work.